All right, welcome back to Funny Witches on the Holy Nights, if you know that could be believed.
I don't know if it's quite a holy night. We have yet to see any kind of nighttime holy action because it's only still the morning time.
We haven't even seen any witches yet.
No, we haven't. Well, no, technically we did because her grandfather tried to do something with the funny cats,
Okay, fair enough, I guess.
but I don't think he succeeded. So.
Arguably a witch.
Arguably.
Arguably a witch, just not on the nights, let alone a holy one.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways,
If if there aren't funny crosses involved, I'm gonna be sad. I forgot I'm the narrator.
yes, I was going to.
A long silence. Though she knew it wouldn't change the situation, she remembered her regret at answering the phone that morning. He meant no harm. She repeated this thought like a mantra, she repeated this thought like a mantra in an attempt to keep her impulses in check. It's not you, if that's what you're worried about. I'd just rather be somewhere else right now. Damn, that's a lot of words to be fitting up in that. With that vague answer, she started to walk away and turned her gaze away from this rude stranger named Sojiro Suzuki.
Oh, I'm rude. I'm sorry about that.
Ain't it fun? While what constitutes normal is certainly up for debate, most would undoubtedly refer to him as so. He was a simple and nice boy with nondescript features. If he were an ice cream flavor, he would be vanilla.
Oh, thanks.
Soft, creamy, boring.
Oh.
You need him some spicing up, like with M&Ms. She's the M&Ms. Or I guess she could be cinnamon chips when she gets red hair.
Fair.
So that was something that always confused me. Why cinnamon flavored things usually are red.
Yeah, and it's like the shade of red that's like Twizzlers are.
Yeah, one time it was like a cinnamon mint, but I thought it was a cherry jelly bean, and I wholeheartedly just plopped it into my mouth, and it was like spicy cinnamon.
Ooh, ooh,
I was not having a good day.
ooh. Youch.
It's truly our fate's day night. Okay, anyways. And Sojiro found Aoko?
Yeah,
We're saying
Aoko.
Okay. And Sojiro found Aoko to be very businesslike and full of life. There was a certain purpose to her movements as they began and entered in an orderly fashion. I can read. The way her fingers raised when she pointed at things. The way she made her way across the hallways and classrooms. The way she would occasionally glance back at him to make sure he was keeping pace. I was gonna say something with the meme that I sent you, but I'm not gonna do it. I want you just to imagine as if that was said.
Oh my god.
Each and every movement was so impressive that he couldn't take his eyes off her. Insert meme here.
Oh my god.
That's what I'm gonna say instead of the thing. I'm just gonna say insert meme here. Aoko showed him to his homeroom classroom C of the 11th grade. The room certainly displayed more of a human touch than the previous meeting room, but Sojiro was none the wiser as to its function. Aoko gave a brief explanation before they visited individual subject classrooms, as well as the gym, cafeteria, locker room, and school infirmary. I just imagine, because it's empty, she just walks straight into the male one, and she's just like, alright, this is what a urinal is.
Oh.
This is that. But the main thing you need to know is that this is a urinal. You pee in it. That is all you do. It's just for peeing.
But
number 2 is for the actual seating ones.
I could just use a bush.
You should not use a bush. That's unsanitary.
Okay.
What's sanitary? Just imagine just like is mayonnaise an instrument? Okay, hold on.
Is that a Dr. Pepper?
Oh my god. I was drinking. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Not sponsored.
Great. Alright.
Hashtag non-sponsored. Unless Dr. Pepper wants to sponsor me, which I would wholeheartedly accept.
Ayo.
Sojiro asked so many questions that much time passed before they reached the AV room on the 2nd floor.
Oh dear.
Sojiro stopped, looking genuinely concerned.
It's 20 to 1 already.
Huh? You're kidding, right? The school isn't that big. We'll be done soon. The tour had begun around 10, which meant that 3 hours had passed. That's us when we play this game. We make it through 20 minutes of playtime, but it's 3 hours because we talk too much between lines. Mostly me, but it's fine.
Yeah, fair enough.
A tour of a school shouldn't take anywhere near this long. But he's a country bumpkin, and so we must take our time. Maybe if you didn't ask so many questions, we'd be done by now. It's a miracle it's still light out.
Sorry.
Aoko glared at Sojiro. She was being sarcastic, of course, knowing full well he would never pick up on it. Is he... To her surprise, he looked down apologetically, unable to hide his dejection. Oops, I think I broke him. The guy before her now was nothing like earlier. In contrast to seeing his once impenetrable veneer when they first met, she found herself feeling sympathetic. Momentarily, at least, until her irritation returned in full force. I know how to read. What's the hurry? Don't tell me your brain's not big enough to remember all this stuff.
I got a small brain. Small head.
small head. It just jingles around in there.
IQ too small.
IQ is in the double digits.
Well, there's that, but it's more about it almost being 1 o'clock.
I love how he's just like, oh yeah, no, my brain is not big enough, but also. Sojiro's gaze wandered as if worried about something. He has pigs to feed. If he was worried about the weather, he would have had a hard time seeing it as there were no windows in the hallway. Don't tell me. You've got somewhere better to be? That's perfect. I take time out of my day for you, and you don't have the decency to even hang around. You're a real piece of work. You know that? Also, can we talk about the fact that the first line has an ending quote, the second line has no starting quote, and then the third and no ending quote, and then the third line has an ending quote?
Yeah, I just noticed that too.
Which is why I was so confused, and I was like, well, she's talking, but there's no quote, so it's gotta be her talking and not the narrator. It amazes me that this is the official.
Yeah, weird.
It's dumb. How did this get past anyone? Anyways, you're a real piece of work. Oh,
I love that
poor
face.
boy.
Thanks, I guess. That's nice of you to say.
Oh, my poor baby. Not a compliment! She yelled at him, unable to hold back her fury. Well?
Well, what?
What's happening in 20 minutes? Sojiro's face lit up as he finally understood what she was asking him.
It's a secret.
Oh my god, she looks like she's gonna stab him. He said with a perfectly straight face. Every time I think I've got this guy figured out, he finds a way to trip me up. Her frustration was natural. Still, she did everything she could to stifle her feelings and fake a smile. You want to repeat that, Suzuki? She took a step forward.
Like I said, it's a secret.
Feeling the mood change drastically, Sojiro took a step back. She's gonna fucking, what is it called? Kobodon? She's gonna Kobodon him?
Oh god.
I think that's what it's called, right? And another, and another.
Hey, I'm hitting a wall over here, so if you could kindly
Just,
pass it on.
I can't hit my desk that hard, but just imagine. I'm sorry, I think I can't hear you. You're going to repeat that loud and clear for me. No matter how many steps he took back, she kept edging towards him. She was smiling, but he thought he could see the blood boiling beneath her skin. Last question. Do you enjoy mocking me? He had no intention of mocking her, though at this point he doubted presenting any evidence to prove this would do much to erase the forced smile on her face.
Let me explain.
His arm raised in surrender. She halted her advance and freed her face from the obscenely smile.
The truth is that my part-time job shift starts at 1. But the students aren't allowed to have jobs, right?
Yeah? Wait, were you being tight-lipped because you thought you'd get in trouble? All you have to do is get permission, dweeb. Oh my god, she called him a dweeb.
The weeb.
Idiot. Because they don't want to say idiot, otherwise they'll be like, oh my god, she's a tsundere.
I know, and I did. I got permission when they accepted me into the school.
Really? Aoko's face lit up as she realized he might not be the piece of work she thought he might be, him to be. Yet.
I only got permission for one of my jobs.
Wait, you have more than one job?
Well, I quit 2 of them. Living expenses are bad enough, but now I gotta earn money for school as well. Don't you think it's unreasonable for them to only let me work one job?
No, I think you're the one who's being unreasonable. Though still irritated, her opinion of him changed a little. She was impressed that he was able to take care of his tuition and living expenses all on his own. She could also empathize with having no time to oneself. Her anger begun to subside. The words part-time job were about the last thing she ever expected to hear out of this country boy's mouth. Well, you gotta do whatever you gotta do, I guess. It's fine, you can go, I get it.
Will you be okay?
She had no idea what his question meant, but she at least understood he was trying to be considerate. Which also took her by surprise. She figured he'd be just as dense about people's feelings as he was about everything else. I'll be fine. I'm just gonna head home. Though she thought it best that they both stop by the faculty room. Mr. Yamashiro had mentioned that the transfer procedures had already been completed, so all that remained was for him to sign off on her duties. I still can't decide what kind of voice I want to give her.
That's fair.
I don't know if I want it to be, like, I know I want it to be tsundere, but I don't know if I want it to be high tsundere or low tsundere.
That's fair.
It's a fun time. What do you think? What does she look like to you? Does she seem more like a Reen or like more of a lower voiced tsundere? Because I feel like Reen is more of a high pitched tsundere, if that makes sense.
Right. What was the voice you gave to Tsukihime Aoko?
Oh, I gave her more of like a, I finished showing him around. Like a more like motherly voice, because
Right.
she's a sensei.
Yes.
So it's very just like, Shiki, you're doing a great job. Never take off those fucking glasses or I'll kill you. Okay? Just very like mom.
Yes.
Kind of like the voice I'm giving the narrator, but less like Princess Tutu-y.
That's fair. I suppose then... I don't know if I'd want that to... I don't know if I'd want this tsundere voice to, like, match it, or... Because
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I don't know. Well, eventually we'll fall into something. I mean, she's the lead.
She's the friggin' main character, so...
We'll figure it out eventually. I finished showing him around.
Great job! That goes for you too, Suzuki. What did you think of our school? Thank you for the tour. It's like a real school.
It is a real school.
That's great to hear. Okay, then. Best of luck starting tomorrow.
She had no interest whatsoever in this pointless wrap-up meeting. You'll have to forgive Mr. Yamashiro. He likes the faculty room so much he chooses to kick back there while getting his students to do his dirty work for him. I bet he spends hours in there. Actually, that's pretty smart of him.
Okay, Aozaki. If you're fine with it, and so am I.
He's so cute. Huh? There it was again. Whatever Sojiro was getting at, Aoko had no idea.
I'm gonna get going. Thanks again for today.
Yes, today. Today only. She shooed him away with her hand. His face bent into a broad smile as he found the gesture endearing. It was a softer expression than she had grown accustomed to seeing out of him. It was the kind of smile that would make anyone smile back. But she was a cold-hearted bitch and wouldn't give him the satisfaction. Well, most people, at least. Aoko Awazaki didn't betray? That says betray, right?
That does say betray.
Betrayed the slightest hint of a smile to him. I feel like that should say portray, but okay.
Oh well. See you later.
Huh? And with that friendly farewell, Sojiro walked towards the end of the hallway. Never to be seen again. Or so she thought before he turned into the next class over. Did he just... Sojiro headed straight for one of the classroom's windows. Oh my god, he's just gonna jump out the window.
Oh my god, what?
He really is our kawaii.
Jesus Christ.
Whereupon he opened it with ease. The chilly November air filled the room as the soft sounds of the rain doubled in volume. In that instant, she realized his intention with opening the window. She really wished she hadn't. No! Stop! He already had one leg out the window when she dashed to stop him. What do you think you're doing?
Leaving? wait, really? Real? Oh my god. Well, what am I doing? I'm leaving for my job, that's what.
There is a door for that. There is a door. You do know that this window isn't an exit, don't you?
I mean, I can leave through it.
You can make it an exit, but that doesn't mean you should make it an exit, okay? Haven't you ever heard the just because you're right doesn't mean you're correct?
That doesn't happen for another 10 to 20 years.
Shh. I mean, do you even know what floor you're on?
Well, sure, there's like 1, 2, 3.
I think we're only on the second floor. She saw the light of understanding dawn in his eyes.
Oh my god, I almost died. Who would put an exit here? This is dangerous.
This boy. It's the lack of something between your ears that's dangerous. Her insult went right over his head. In one ear, out the other, since there's nothing but space in between it. People here don't normally enter and exit through windows, okay? You should probably remember this information for future reference.
Oh, I know. I just wanted to save some time. But thanks. I'll be more careful from now on.
He pulled his leg back inside and closed the window. Do you think that's how he got, like, the fucking bandages around his neck? Is he just, like, he's been doing stupid shit like that?
Oh my god.
This poor, stupid boy. His school uniform was soaking wet from the rain. Hey, be my guest. Go outside any way you like, just don't do it in front of me from now on. Fall to your death, I don't care as long as I'm not involved. Anyways, you start school tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous though, which is why I came in early for the tour.
He bid her farewell before running away down the hallway. She hoped he would walk down the stairs and leave through the school entrance like a normal person.
Oh, hey, a lower window.
Oh my god. I wonder if he's really going to be okay here. The image of him disappearing into the distance popped into her head in spite of her ear. Ire?
Ire.
Ire. She had no intention of spending any more time with him, and yet she felt strangely anxious. Could this be attraction? Worry? Friendship? She couldn't tell if the feelings were fueled by concern or irritation. Why had she even gotten angry with this insignificant transfer student in the first place? Insignificant fuck. A strange... Anyways. A strange day with a strange transfer student resulting in strange emotions. Her head tilted as she reflected on what should have been a more enjoyable day than the irritating experience she just had. Whatever. It's not as if I'll see him again. It's not like I like him or anything. The sound of the rain echoed quietly all around her. Can you imagine if the narrator turns out to be a guy?
Oh,
I've just been
God.
giving him this female narration voice the entire time.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
It's fine. It's great. It's fine. I feel like that might be a thing that happens because it said that she gave birth to them. So I feel like it's
oh,
probably
no.
like a thing.
Oh, no. There's a non-zero chance that might happen.
There's like, yeah. But it's all good because I'm taking over the narration to save your voice because you did all of Shiki's narration for the last game.
That's fair. And I'm gonna do all of Shiro's narration
and you're
for
gonna
next.
do all of Shiro's, so it only makes sense that I take over the in-between games.
Fair enough.
Like this one, and I don't know what the game we're gonna do after this is.
I suppose there's Kara no Kyokai. Is that a visual novel?
I don't know.
Good
what
question.
That is.
That's
I
Garden
don't know
of
what that is point blank.
That's
so.
Garden of Sinners. That's another type of thing. I don't actually know if it's a visual novel or if it's just a light novel, but we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there.
Yes.
Anyways, did we figure out if we can die in this game?
I don't think so, since I think this is a lot more. This is like a linear story, so it might just straight up be a novel rather than like have any choices. IIRC.
Damn.
So.
Oh, well, I hope we get to at least choose something during this.
That's fair.
That'd be fun. I want to choose whether or not we push a man out a window. I don't know. I feel like that'd be fun. That's something. This is actually a fun fact for you. If I were ever to make a visual novel, I would want it to be, you know, a very serious novel, but have the choices be like 2 serious things and then 1 really stupid one. Like as he's like stepping out of the thing to be like, pull him back, shout to him, push him. Like that's the kind of stuff. And then if you choose all of like the weird ones, you just like the it just gets worse. Like all of the bad choices keep pushing you forward, but the story just gets worse and worse and worse.
Oh God.
Like that's what I want. Yeah. I if I could make a visual novel, that is what I would want. Just keep pushing people out of windows. Anyways. The gray sky seemed frozen in time. But it shouldn't actually be frozen because it's only, I think, 42 degrees outside, which is not freezing temperature. It was impossible to discern whether it was morning or evening. But it's basically midday because we know it's 20 minutes to 1 because he just said that's what the time was.
Fair enough.
Mr. Yamashiro and Aoko were likely the only ones left at school. The unlit classroom looked overly gloomy and ominous as Alco stood in it alone. Poor girl. She pulled up her left sleeve. Her dainty, unremarkable watch shone that it was almost 1 o'clock. But we already knew that because we just had a conversation about it. I feel like this. I feel like time is gonna be the stupid 17 pieces.
Of
Tsukihime, where it just keeps bringing it up.
Fair.
He was right about the time. She looked out the window at the grounds below. She saw a boy in uniform running through the rain without an umbrella, a sight she must have seen before, but for whatever reason, affected her far more than she'd wished.
That idiot. Hasn't he seen the Mythbusters episode?
I know exactly what you're talking about, too. We actually watched that in my science class when I was in high school.
Very good.
Because that's all we did on our free days was watch Mythbusters.
Excellent. Also, B, I'm gonna send you something. Good God.
What have you sent me? I can't do it on my PC because I'm recording this. What did you send me? I mean, oh my God. Okay.
Always pray before you eat.
Okay, I don't know if you looked at any of the other RPs that we're doing, but
which is weird because I'm an atheist.
Oh my God. Yep. But in I believe it's the Reluctant Hero one, when Emery goes to sit down to eat, she says that may our days be many and our woes be few.
Oh my God.
And I forgot to tell you about that.
Oh my Lord.
But I did that. She really do be doing that. Ta-da! Anyways.
Yes, anyways.
Sometimes I need to get used to being the narrator. This is weird.
Yes.
I didn't read that.
Oh,
no, I did. No, I did read that. I did read that because we were talking about the Mythbusters.
Yes.
Mythbusters.
Mythbusters.
It's a Mythbusters. Anyways, Aoko did not stop by the faculty room before heading home. Why bother? It's only one bitch. While Mr. Yamashiro offered to drive her home was tempting, she decided it would ultimately be far more satisfying to ruin his day just as he had hers. And also, to drive home with a teacher is kind of creepy.
A little sus, perhaps.
It's a little sus, and I would rather not. So... She walked as quietly as she could towards the entrance and opened her bright red umbrella. Soon to be as bright red as her hair. As she had predicted that morning, the rain was waning in the afternoon. At this rate, it would probably cease completely in an hour or so. Do you think his part-time job is at a 7-Eleven?
Holy shit, wait.
If it's at a convenience store, I'm gonna die.
Oh my God,
Please.
No way. No, please.
Because I feel like most Japanese kids, like school kids, when they have part-time jobs, it's usually at convenience stores. So if it's not at a convenience store, I will be very surprised.
Afternoon, Mr. Archangel. Hello there, Sojiro.
Hello, Soichiro. That's not his name, it's Sojiro. I always want to say Soichiro, but I forget who that is.
Sorry, I was almost late. I tried to jump out a window, but
learning how to use those legs.
I see. Very well. Try not to die next time.
Mm-hmm. If you are going to land, land gracefully, like a taki. It's like, sir, what does that mean?
What's a taki? Soon you will know the words that I say.
Uh,
You will
okay.
learn. In the
Okay.
meantime, you need to restock the soda machine.
We are out of grape and blueberry. It continues. The memes
Oh my
continue.
god.
I wonder how we're gonna continue the 7-Eleven joke into Fate.
Oh my...
I don't know how that's gonna happen, but we'll figure it out. Archer's gonna like blue Takis. He's gonna like red Takis. That's gonna be the. Well, I suppose it could be worse. She shrugged her shoulders in resignation. She neither liked nor disliked rain, but she found herself enjoying her walk home with her red umbrella in hand. I feel like the voice I'm giving should have like that like really annoying prissy rich girl.
Oh my
Like,
god, the rich girl laugh.
yeah, like the
The freaking Luvia laugh, yes.
yes. That's also one of my favorite fucking laughs.
Fair.
It's one of like the few laughs that I can kind of do it, but I can't do it as well as I wish I could, you know?
Oh yeah, fair.
It's such a iconic laugh. You know?
Yes, for sure.
The teachers at Misaki High School weren't fond of bright colors, so Alco's red umbrella was an unusual sight. A ghost story about how the umbrella was once pure white had been making the rounds, but it featured Alco instead of a ghost. Have you ever seen the anime Another?
I have not.
Okay, so funny enough, this reminded me of it. So it's basically about a town. This new kid comes to the town, and he starts talking to a girl who also goes to the school, but before any of his classmates can tell him that you're supposed to pretend like she doesn't exist, he's already started talking to her. And the reason they do that is because there's a ghost story that you have to pretend like one of the students is dead. Otherwise, people will actually start dying. And then people start dying.
Oh. Oh.
And one of the characters that I want to cosplay actually dies by an umbrella.
Oh my god.
Because sometimes umbrellas have a very sharp tip
Yes.
at the top, and you know the jugular is very squishy.
You know, just a bit.
Yeah. So I really want to take a white umbrella and like do cool shit with it. I want to cosplay that so bad, but that is so much red dye and there's like, and you can't get the school uniform. I'd have to make it myself, which would be a pain because that's gonna be like that would be like 3 months of making a fucking school uniform. Anyways, it's only like 12 episodes, I think, so if you ever have time,
Fair
it's
enough.
a good anime. It's a
Right.
good anime. It's dubbed. Anyways,
Yes.
1 second. Needed to shift in my chair.
All right.
It was with that umbrella that she made her way towards Misaki Station. Who is this Misaki person? No one knows. It's just a name. The private Misaki High School got its name from the town of the same name. Of course,
Lovely.
I make the joke and then it tells me.
So we got Misaki, Soya, Fuyuki.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right. Anyways.
The area was once a sprawl of farmland and woodland, But rapid growth over the last 10 years has led to unprecedented modernization. There were some who fought to preserve Misaki's natural treasures.
I agree, in principle, to preserving the land, but not at the expense of our prosperity.
With those words, the mayor snuffed out the voices of the minority and ushered in a long-term plan for new urban development. Trees? What are those? More than enough funds for the urban development were collected.
I don't care about the last truffle tree.
Oh my God. Everyone needs a need. I mean, have you seen what they can do? They can make a tube dress, a baby sling.
An umbrella.
You could probably murder a man with them, not that I tried.
Good God. Freaking the mayor is the onceler, dude.
Oh my God, no. He probably wears that atrocity of a green suit. And the unassuming town of Misaki became the largest
Municipality?
Municipality, sure, of Misaki City in merely 10 years. Why is everything in 10 years?
I don't know.
The Fuyuki fire was 10 years ago from Fate Stay Night.
Yeah, Shiki's incident was 10 years.
10 years ago. I guess it's just like easy to work in tens, but like why not 5? Why not 2?
Fair enough.
Those are good numbers.
I suppose it's a good way to cause very early trauma for our heroes.
Sure. How long ago was the cat incident? Was that 10 years?
Oh,
No,
I
she
think
was
that
already
one
in
was 8.
school.
That one was 8.
That was 8. That's an awkward number.
Yeah, that one's a little bit more awkward.
Like, I feel like 8 and 7 are very awkward year numbers, you know?
Yeah.
I don't like them. Because they're not easy to count by.
Right.
You know? And 4. I would say 4, 6, 7, and 8 are all awkward numbers
Right.
to count by. I don't like them. Anyways. Even though it lacked the monarchy of neighboring Yashirogi,
Yashirogi, sure.
or the elegance of Misaki Hills. Okay. What did people expect? To keep the town hidden atop the mountain forever? It's not like they were going to flatten the mountain or something.
Hello, it is me, the mayor. We are going to flatten the mountain.
Oh my God. There's actually a movie called Strange World where one of the characters, his whole thing is that he wants to get to the other side of a mountain. He's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get to the other side of a mountain.
Wait, like Disney's Strange World? Mm-hmm. The one that just came out?
Yeah.
Ah, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's really good. I genuinely enjoyed it when
All right.
I saw it.
Duly noted then.
Mm-hmm. My stepmother knows the guy who wrote it.
Oh, cool.
Well, he was a part of it. I don't know if he wrote it, but he did things with it.
Ah, okay.
So either he wrote it or he helped produce it.
That's cool.
I can't remember which one, but we watched it, and it's actually genuinely like pretty good. Like I actually enjoyed it.
All right.
So, anyways, his whole thing is that he wants to get to the other side of a mountain, and this is what it's reminding me of.
Ah, I see.
Urbanization had been contained to the lowlands around the station, with most of the hills and mountains still standing as they did 10 years prior. The exhaustion of funds succeeded,
yeah.
Yeah. Succeeded in protecting the old Misaki where the citizens could not. it became a truly odd suburban town, welcoming an increasingly urban population with its vestiges?
Yes, vestiges.
Vestiges and old country charm, which is where we get Sojiro, our little bumpkin. Misaki High School was a private school established long before the town's current state. The original campus, built 50 years ago, was located high atop the mountains, making its current location its second incarnation. The path of the old grounds was remote, steep, and also well trodden by animals. For those reasons, among others, Misaki High School had been shuttered until almost 20 years ago, when it received a donation from a department store chain that allowed for the construction of a new campus in the city. So you telling me that, like, her grandparents had to walk uphill both ways?
Oh, man. When I was your age, I'll go.
Her grandfather's like, he's just like, I had to walk up both ways, and then I got attacked by wolves. It was like that movie, Beauty and the Beast, but the good one, the animated one. And thus, Misaki High School reopened its doors, the old woodland campus, forgotten. Oh, so we're gonna go to that campus.
Oh.
Probably. Like, you can't tell me something isn't gonna happen there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They wouldn't have mentioned it otherwise.
There's some sussery afoot at that old campus, dog.
Oh my god, it's gonna be like the temple in Stay Night and
It's the Ryudo Temple, dude.
It's Ryudo Temple. It's gonna be the Ryudo Temple of this game. In fact, most of the students attending Misaki High School were not from Misaki at all. The heartily rustic people of this country town preferred prefectural schools to private ones. So they were all from some outer place where red lines are everywhere. Truth be told, Aoko herself was one of them. All she wanted after junior high was to move to Tokyo, where she hoped to spend her days enjoying live music on her way to entering a public university. But her hopes were dashed with her sister's departure. So here she was, walking alone in town, with only a red umbrella to keep her company on what should have been a day off. Looking back on it now, it's like my whole life had been one disaster after another. Their frustrations evaporated into the cold December air. I thought it was November. What month is it?
Good question.
Are we sure this is the official?
I'm pretty sure, yes.
'Cause they fucked up.
They did. Wait, okay.
This is...
Wait, hang on. Okay, so... No, in Tsukihime, it was October, and then it transitioned into November, I think.
Okay, but it's still the same day that she said November air.
Oh, wait, okay, hang on. Never mind then. Alright.
Because, like, for Tsukihime, it's over 2 weeks.
Right.
So for it to go to October into November, that's okay. Because that has multiple days. So if it happened in the same day, I probably would have been like, hey, wait a fucking minute. But she literally, when she was talking to Sojiro, when he, like, opened up the window, she was like, the November air. But now her frustrations are evaporating into the December air?
Weird.
I don't know how to feel about this. This is weird.
Pretty sure this is the official one.
If it is, someone fucked up. Oh well, at least it's not boring. With those words, her mood brightened a bit as she left the school in her wake. The busier part of town met her at the bottom of the gently sloping road. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, look at all those damn legs. Misaki's train station was brand new.
What's that? That's a cutie mode?
Where? Oh, wait. Oh, yes, it does. I
Cutie
was
mode.
reading.
Yo.
We
You
have unique fashion clothes.
unique fashion clothes that say manly angels.
Probably something like that. Oh
Great.
Lord.
Beans.
If that's not a coffee shop, I'd be surprised.
Yo, beans.
Oh, when I went to New York, there was a place called Gregory's. I took a picture of
Gregory's.
it, but I never like sent it to anyone. But it was just Gregory's, and I was like, Gregory, when did you open a coffee shop?
Holy crap, bruh.
Gregory, how did you get up there?
Good lord.
Anyways, her train station was brand new. Once looking no prettier than an abandoned factory, it had been renovated into a multi-purpose structure with huge department stores on its east and west sides. When the department stores were first opened, Alco and her friends had been impressed with their modern feel, but in time, the stores, too, became dated. She had no shopping to do today, so she passed them by. What she really wanted to do was rest at a cafe, but she fought the urge, knowing her roommate would never let her hear the end of it if she frittered away her money. Oh, she's gonna get hit by a car. She's gonna get fucking isekai'd.
Oh no.
She looked back and blinked. For just a moment, she could have sworn she'd seen someone suspicious in a red dress out of the corner of her eye.
Where?
I don't know. I don't see anyone. It must have been her imagination.
Well, damn, alright.
Or it could have been me, the narrator. The sixth sense chill she was experiencing down her spine was a familiar one, at least, at this point. She continued her walk home, brushing off the event as if it had never happened. In time, the chill faded, and all that was left was the sounds of the town. P and P. I don't know what it was. There was another like letters like after it, but it was PEA and PEA.
PP.
So P and P. She sighed heavily. Had she imagined it?
Well, look who decided to show up.
Hey, this isn't the anime.
No, it's not.
No,
We're playing.
no, it isn't.
You missed all of it. We finished it.
We finished Fate Stay Night, alright?
We finished our rewatch.
God damn it.
Yep.
Yes,
We tagged you multiple times. But you
I
were
saw.
gone. Away.
You added me 17 different times.
Oh, really?
No, just 7.
Was it 17?
Just 7, just 7.
Oh, 7.
I added you into 17 pieces.
Oh, God. I apologize. God damn it.
That's okay. That just means we need to rewatch it again.
Oh.
Yeah. It'll be great.
That's good. I want to see
Yes.
Keith cry again.
No.
I did.
We're not gonna watch Keith cry again.
I mean, to be fair, I did. I did cry.
Apparently,
I will
multiple
shoot up a
times.
little bit.
Also, today's word dictionary definition of the sarcastic dictionary definition of the day is
Ooh, what we got?
activist. Activist. A person who cares about the fact that the world until reaching approximately 28 years of age. So a person who cares about the fate of the world until reaching about 28.
Dang.
What a mood, I
So
suppose.
Archer. He probably died around in his 20s.
He probably, yeah, probably like late 20s, maybe early 30s.
28. So 28. He died at 28. He was an activist. He's the sarcastic definition of an activist.
Yes. All right, I will be right back.
Alright.
Gonna get like water and stuff.
Yes, you get your water. I have my Dr. Pepper. And we'll just listen to the beeping noise of this walking sign.
Man, that beeping is kind of annoying, isn't it?
It's fine.
Anyways, I'm back.
Welcome back. Pew, 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 pew. Anyways. Even if it had all been in her head, she was far from comfortable with the feeling that still lingered. Even mosquitoes have the grace to buzz off eventually. She grumbled under her breath. Whether good or bad, this too shall pass, so the saying goes. Yeah, I've got enough on my plate as is. Unfortunately, summer and bugs go hand in hand.
Just like the cicadas who cast off their shells.
Mm-hmm. She could see how bugs could be drawn in to all the sweet fruit. What is it suddenly gonna be, March or June? Rank with grease and heat, the kitchen was closed for the time being. The lunch rush had come and gone. But one last battle remained. Dinner time. Only after the evening chaos could the kitchen crew remove their white armor and call it a day.
It's armor.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I get that feeling.
I feel it though. I get you.
In the midst of the war zone was a lone newcomer.
Do I have to wear this?
His voice was uneasy, betraying how new he was.
I know how you feel, man. I feel the same. Unfortunately, it's the boss's orders, so you'll have to suck it up, okay? The future of this shopping arcade is at stake, apparently. I really hate to ask, but the rain has stopped, so would you mind going out for me? Get back in one piece, and I'll buy you dinner.
His bright orange co-worker clasped his hands together as if to beg for forgiveness as he saddled him with this unreasonable task. So he works at a supreme 7-Eleven where they have kitchens.
Ah, of course.
10 years ago, Misaki City was a town of farm and woodland. Or maybe he works at like a KFC.
Oh my god.
You know, because KFCs are for December.
Of course.
They're very busy during December. But everything had changed. The front of the station was now lined with tall, multi-story buildings, and the residential area was similarly full of apartment complexes. The once rustic scenery around the station had long become a thing of the past. Shiro
Inuzuka. Sure.
Shiro Inuzuka was the only place in the city that still contained vestiges of the old
Hey,
town.
Shiro?
Yo.
A pocket of the past inside an urban jungle.
Ayo Shiro x Yumizuka. Kind of a weird ship, but I dig it.
I mean, sure. Why not? Sure. The road extended up a conspicuously high hill to an old residential district far from the hustle and bustle of the train station. Long ago, it had been considered unwise to build on high ground, so nobody lived above a certain elevation. Shiro Unuzuka, sitting as it did atop a hill in the middle of town, was no exception to that conversation and had no residence to speak of. The asphalt continued for some time, eventually giving way to a mountain road that was swallowed into the cover of trees.
Oh, is that the mansion over there?
Or that's the school.
Or the school, yeah, true.
It's one of the two. Everything's in grayscale, so I can't really tell you.
That's fair.
A lone vending machine stood to mark the boundary between town and beyond. To an infinity and beyond. Even the chicken. Oh my god, not the chicken, the children. Yes, the chickens. Sorry, I was thinking about KFC. Even the children knew that there was nothing beyond the new playground and the development. That so enthralled them. Well, that was not entirely true. There was murder involved, but it's fine. There was nothing beside the haunted house. So I wasn't entirely wrong.
No, yeah.
Aoko Awazuka traversed the long slope. Below her, she could see the whole of Miyazaki. The symmetrical town looked like a miniature set from the side. It would look like a painting if there had been a scene next to it, but unfortunately, Miyazaki City was very landlocked. While it was overcast at the moment, the scene was quite breathtaking on clear evenings. The view was the one thing that made the arduous climb worthwhile, and today she had been denied even that. I'd cycle home if it wasn't for this rain. Even a bus route would have been a fine thing. Aoko had been using this road to get to school for almost 2 years now, but the journey had never gotten easier. Squish, squish. Oh, it's locked? I guess Alice isn't back yet. With a weary shrug, she put her hand on the rusty iron fence and just snapped it like a twig. Quietly, the heavy gate swung open as if it was welcoming her home. There's it. Oh, who's talking? What?
That's a good question.
There sits atop that hill a haunted house. That is how the story much started around this town used to be. Oh, much shared. But fresh rumors about the house had sprung to life almost as fast as the town's modernization. Despite being dilapidated and abandoned for many years, lights can be seen inside the house at night. So I'm guessing that's her house and Alice's house. I suppose they share it.
Right.
I've seen pictures of Alice, and I like her aesthetic.
Fair.
Were you going to say something? Sorry.
Hmm?
You seemed like you opened your mouth to say something.
The lights, I'm guessing, are just like them practicing magic. Or
Yes,
magecraft, I suppose.
Either magecraft, or they just have their lights on in their room.
Fair.
They're just vibing. An angry murder of crows often gathered atop the hill before mysteriously vanishing. Children got lost in the fog, never to be seen again.
That's not great.
They're turned into stones, raw material.
Oh my god.
Sorry, it's not funny. Oh, I always hate when I laugh and I have a stuffy nose because it makes me fucking snort like a pig.
Yes, that's fair.
It's fine. We love the human body. It's such a grand old time. Can I be turned into raw material, please?
What?
Anyways. Late at night, a shrieking sound can be heard all the way to town. This particular piece of slander was the one Alco wished to discredit the most. The final rumor was of an eye-catching luxury car that sometimes made its way up and down the hill. The rumors spread and grew by the day. And while they grew, the house that everyone thought had rotted away was restored over the recent years. Deep in a wood on top of a hill no one dared to approach. Like a ruin, shrouded from view even on the brightest of days, stood a relic out of time, a building from a fairy tale. The house was the
Kuonji, I'm guessing.
Kuonji, yeah. Was the Kuonji mansion. Everyone in town knew about the witch's house on the hill. The unabashedly haunted house where Aoko Aozaki resided for reasons unknown. Needless to say, it was not really haunted. The Kuonji family home was a grand Western-style mansion with a long and storied history, stretching all the way back to England.
Type Moon really enjoys its Western-style mansions, huh?
Yep.
You got the Tono Mansion, Kuonji Mansion, the Einsburn Estates.
You have even Tosaka's.
Even, yeah, Tosaka's. Tosaka's house.
The way the churches are built
The church, yeah.
are pretty Western styly.
Right. Which I suppose makes sense for them because they're, you know, Catholics, but...
Those dang Catholics.
The friggin' Roman Catholics and their burial agencies and their executors.
And their popes. They're weird popes.
This is a quote from a dead apostle. Anyways.
It was too small to be a dormitory, yet too big to be called a house. The main building contained as many as 3 normal houses worth of rooms and was shrouded by a large, all-encompassing courtyard. The perimeter of the grounds was surrounded by a high iron fence covered in thorny vines. There was also an annex to the main building. An aniplex.
God.
Given such extravagance, it was no wonder that it inspired rumors. I love how her, like, umbrella is just in the corner.
Right.
To the town residents, the mere existence of such a lavish and out-of-place mansion on top of the hill was a cause for suspicion. Rumors, lies, and slander were the prices to be paid for fame. With only 2 lodgers, it was hard to disgrace to disagree with the perception that vampires must be living here.
Ah, yeah, no, no, don't worry about it.
That's a
Vampires are in
different
the town,
game.
next town over.
Just a little walk away.
You know,
I
go to Soya for
can-
that.
No
Considering
true ancestors here.
I would guess that the sister, quote unquote, that Alco has is probably Alice that made his glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Because she didn't make his glasses. She
Right.
went to her quote unquote sister to make his glasses.
Right.
And given the fact she hasn't talked about siblings and never talked about siblings when the whole like incident with the car happened,
Right?
I would guess that Alice is her, like she sees Alice as her sister.
Yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know I'm not one, but Alice, she's weird. She put her hand on the front door. It was a grand double door that would have paired well with a brass lock, and yet it was secured with a little more than a simple keyhole. Pushing it open with one hand, she entered the supposedly haunted house. And by the way, if vampires were not enough to scare you, ghosts were known to appear on certain nights. Those are the servants that they conjure up, and then they're like, all right, bye. Much like the weather outside, the foyer was overcast with shades of gray. Perhaps by deliberate design, the architect had chosen not to include any lights in the entrance area. Oh, that's how my mom's house is. Our living room doesn't have any light in it.
Oh, great.
Like, there's nothing on the ceiling, and there's only like 2 outlets, so we just have like lamps in 2 corners of the room. It's great. She says, lying. The ceiling was 2 floors high. A dragon could fit in there. The only light in the room came from the skylight.
Well, that's...
That's okay. Ugh. Ooh, I cracked my jaw. It's fine. It was particularly gloomy on rainy days. 'Cause you couldn't see the sun through the clouds. On moonless nights, it was like a world itself ceased to be. Naoko decided the drawing room to the east would be a good place to rest, but knowing that she would not be able to relax until she changed clothes, she started up the stairs. The stairs curled up the wall to the 2nd floor hall. There was a 3rd floor attic as well, accessible from the far end of the hall. What did you say, Keith?
I feel that, though.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. That's me when I come home from work. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna lay down, but the work clothes need to come off first.
Yes. Absolutely.
Especially when you have like a specific like work pants and then like a work shirt.
Yes.
That you have. You're like, okay, these go into a corner, and then I put on my sleepy time wear, and then we lay down.
Yes, absolutely.
Like right now, I'm wearing my sleepy shirt and my sleepy pants, and I'm wearing a funny sleepy shirt that says "Aspiring MILF."
Great.
It's a very large shirt that I got as a gift, like I think like 3 years ago.
Immaculate.
She had never set foot in there in the 2 years she had lived here, though. She had never been in the attic.
Huh.
Interesting.
Wonder what's in the attic.
Dead bodies. Raw materials.
A book detailing the lineage of your family.
The entire lineage. A summoning circle that'll give you a saber that you didn't mean to, summon. The Kuanji mansion was more or less divided into two wings, east and west.
Oh my god.
I feel like that's how most are separated.
Yes.
Do you think that there may be a mansion that has a north wing and a south wing instead of a west and an east? Do they actually go by compasses, or do they just go, this is the east and
one
that's the
is
west?
the east because it's on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one is the west because it's on the left.
Yeah. Like, do you think that's just how it works? Because
I have no idea.
That shouldn't be how it works. I feel like that's wrong.
Fair. But there's a non-zero chance that it is how it works, and that frightens me.
You know what? That's fair. Aoko had been given the entire east wing, but 2 rooms were more than enough as far as she was concerned. She had no desire to open a door that would trap her in a storybook. She had no desire to open a door that would trap you in a storybook world, or lead to an attic that had only been used for storage these last 5 years. Oh, so she's only been living here for 5 years. Okay. Oh, that was a smooth transition. I liked that. That was neat. Aoko's room was at the end of the East Wing's long corridor. She had elected for a smaller room for no other reason than that she thought it would be easier to clean. It was furnished with a large bed, her beloved mahogany desk, a wardrobe, and a chest for her clothes, and 2 9-shelf bookcases. That is all she brought with her from home.
She's got 2 guitars.
An electric and acoustic.
Pretty pog. She's even got an amp.
Yeah, and headphones.
Pretty pog, pretty pog.
If I'm gonna have to sing, I'll have to really
Oh my god.
make sure that I'm, my vocal cords are all good.
Right.
Her entire life of 16 years reduced to this. She borrowed the next room down for her own purposes. Oh yeah, I should check on the watchtower. The watchtower I got for Alice. She got her own little mini watchtower.
Hey yo.
Knock knock. Hello, Hello, Mr. El Malloy II.
Wait, what?
Hi, knock knock. Just calls the watchtower. Hey, Lord El Malloy II. What's up?
The clock tower, you mean?
Oh, what did I say?
You said a watchtower?
Listen. Words are hard. Words are hard. It's fine. It says watchtower. My brain went clock tower. It's fine.
Brain no work.
Brain no work. Brain no work because brain spent a lot of time watching Fate. And
So true.
the brain is still working on Fate.
So true. So true.
She needed to see if the project she had been working on all night had borne fruit. That is a weird sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but also borne fruit. The study next door served as proof of the life she had been living for the last year, and how different that life was from the one she had lived before. It was not a room for the person she had been. It was a room for the person she would eventually become, a place of solitude that only she could enter, or so she thought. Wow, not only did it break, it vanished without a trace. Looks like I've still got a long way to go. Go ahead, laugh it up, Robin. The noisy neighbor that intruded upon her sanctuary flew away. While not exceptionally talented, Aoko did not lack for effort and was not afraid to fail. One could have almost mistaken her approach for optimism. I like the transitions. The transitions
Oh yeah,
are nice.
they're slick.
They are quite slick.
Yo, turtleneck.
Ooh, oh, that's a pretty color too.
Oh, for sure.
She changed out of her uniform and returned to the first floor. It's kind of a weird thing to lay down in, though.
Yeah,
Her neck will be comfy, I guess.
that's fair.
It's like a pillow for your neck.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be hot and cozy, I suppose.
Maybe it's a drafty place. Down the stairs, she opened the door to the east wing into the corridor, as dark as a cellar. The absence of windows meant it was pitch black without the lights on, so she flicked on the switch and entered the nearby doorway. Life without electricity. I don't even want to imagine it. It had been her idea to update the drawing room. The walls were decorated with extravagant patterns. And around the room were large, majestic sofas and a luxurious Persian rug. And they have a TV, which means they could play fucking 8-bit games. Or whatever. What's the bit?
Yeah, 8-bit, probably.
8-bit? Okay.
When did Super Mario come out? Hang on.
I think Super Mario came out around this time. That, or at least they're playing Pong.
True.
I feel like Pong came out in the 60s, I think.
Let's see here.
Years are not my strong suit, I can promise you
Yeah,
that.
Super Mario Bros. Released in September 13th of 1985.
Okay, well, we're in the 80s, so...
Yeah, this is late 80s, so... Should be good.
So yeah, she's playing Super Mario Brothers.
Great.
That's what she's playing, and she can probably... No, because I don't think second player Mario came out until the 90s.
I like the green one. Can I play as the green one, Alco?
Fine, you can play as the green one. Remind me why I invited you into my house again. How did you get here? I came in from the window.
I came in through the...
I'm so glad we had the same idea. I just came in from the window. Don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
Amidst it all was a 30-inch television that seemed completely out of place. It stood looking over the other furniture like the emperor with no clothes. The mansion's owner would have rather done without it, but to a commoner like Alco, it was an essential commodity. So it's Shiki all over again.
Yeah, it's Shiki. It's Shiki. Shiki needs a TV, dude.
Mm-hmm. Poor Shiki. Never got his TV.
Shiki never allowed his TV. Was never allowed his TV. His only entertainment for a good long while.
Anytime, like, games that are set in the past talk about how, like, quote-unquote big their screen is and, like, do, like, they talk about the inches of it, my brain just always goes to, Little Shop of Horrors. Where the song
A great
somewhere...
big 12-inch screen TV.
A big, enormous 12-inch screen.
Love that.
I love it so much. They had fought over its presence at first, but eventually came to an agreement, and now mutually enjoyed the modern comfort. But only she knows how to record things. Poor Alice. I guess I'm one to talk. I came from a pretty traditional household myself. Now, in a somewhat pleasant mood, she decided to brew some tea. She boiled some water in the kitchen, prepared a teapot, and made herself some black tea. Chamomile tea sounds so good right now.
Fair.
Chamomile and mint, so good.
For sure, for sure.
With a flop, she sank into the sofa. She took a sip of her tea, and then another. I like the piano in the background.
Absolutely. Isn't this the same? Is this the same piece that played when, with the beginning story as well, with the prologue?
I think so. Maybe. At least it sounds similar.
Right.
I don't have the recording up that high, so I can't 100% tell,
That's fair.
but it sounds it.
Fair
from what
enough.
I'm getting. But it's pretty. Nonetheless, it's pretty.
For sure.
Lulled by the ticking of the clock and not the piano, because only us, we can hear it, the narrator and everyone here.
Hi.
She took a third sip as she pondered how to spend her afternoon, even though it's fucking dark outside. What afternoon? The sofa almost seemed to be inviting her, and she sunk even further into its comforting embrace. Alco
Blearily, I'm guessing.
Blearily? I think that's what it is. Alco blearily opened her eyes as she lifted her body up from the cushions.
Hi, Alice, I think.
I think this is Alice. Hello. This was no dream or delusion. At some point, a girl had sat down across from her. Not the least bit surprised, she reached for her teacup. But the tea within it had gone completely cold. Did I doze off? She asked the question to the girl on the other side of the table. Yes. The girl answered without lifting her gaze. When silent, she could have been mistaken for a beautiful doll. The girl sitting on the opposite sofa was reading an old book. She had delicate limbs and pale white skin. Not a hint of humanity emanated from her melancholic aura. She had darker hair than Alco, and her icy eyes were focused on the pages in front of her. Her clothes resembled that of a nun, but were actually her school uniform. In Alco's humble opinion, the gloominess suited her. She invoked something like out of a painting. There was something unreal about her, as if she were frozen in time. The white of her neck was so lovely that even Alco found herself enchanted by it. Why her neck? Is Alco secretly a vampire?
Uh-oh. Dead Apostle Alco?
Oh no. The girl was one of the haunted house's 2 residents. Her name was Alice Kuanji, and she was the same age as Alco. How long was I asleep? At least an hour. You'll catch a cold if you keep sleeping here. Alice answered indifferently, not that it bothered Alco, who was now used to it. She looked at the clock on the wall and saw that it was already 7. She'd been asleep for 2 hours.
I feel that.
Oh, yeah. The day had been rough, had been a rough one for her, and she had slept little that night before, so it was not surprised that she had dozed off as long as she had. You could have woken me up. No, my tea is cold. It was already cold by the time I got here. I'm sure it was. I'm just saying. Aoko drank down the rest of the cold tea in one gulp. Ew. In the poorly heated Kuanji mansion, that was more than enough to clear her head and wake up. Nothing quite beats this tea, not even the expensive kind from Britain. Anyway, welcome home, Alice. The universe seems determined to keep me from even the occasional luxury without you. What is it about today? Is it just my luck or what? At this rate, I'm due a temple visit just to be safe. Aoko shrugged her shoulders as if resigning herself to her fate.
Stay night.
Stay night. Something happened? After 2 years together, they knew each other quite well. Aoko had one way of asking questions, and Alice had another. Alice asked without raising her head, and Aoko gave her the details. I should start by apologizing.
I like the little she's crisscross applesauce on the sofa.
Oh, that's a mood. I
Yes,
do that all
me
the time.
too.
Hey, if it's big enough, crisscross applesauce all the way.
Of course.
The project I was working on all night was a total failure. And even though I only took my eyes off it for a second, it must have boiled over and been destroyed. And then a robin laughed at me. They'll add that I shuffled the circulation codes as a precaution. Aoko tried to laugh it off as if it was someone else's problem. And? Something came up this morning, and I was called into school. They made me show this transfer student around, and it took my whole day. By the time I got home, it had vanished without a trace. You're not mad, are you? Hardly. If I got mad every time you broke something, there would be no end to the fighting. I have more materials, so you can just start over. However, aren't you really the one who's angry? Alice was very much on point today. It was true that despite outward appearance, Aoko was seething with frustration. That aside, true enough, the transfer student I mentioned earlier was a real piece of work. He's been living deep in the mountains and has literally zero common sense. I know people say that the mountains are like an entirely different world, but I had no idea how true it was, Alice.
He almost jumped out a window.
He nearly jumped out a window and I had to stop him. Oh my god, and he's southern. He pronounces things weird. And he says y'all. What is a y'all?
Yalden.
Alice raised her head in response to hearing her name. But Aoko kept going on before she could get a word in edgewise. Aoko, after all, expected no sympathy in the first place. We didn't get along well from the start, but things really took a turn from the worse when I took him to a classroom. He apparently thought it was a place where you get one-on-one tutoring, and that's not all. I mean, you're never gonna believe this. Oh my god, she's gonna tell him about the window.
Right?
What do you think he asked when I politely explained what a classroom is to him? But then what are the other classrooms for? Unbelievable, right? I mean, a classroom is a classroom. No matter how vague or unhelpful anything I said was, he just kept nodding. It's like he was just taking everything at face value. I don't know if he just lacks any imagination or never uses it. Anyway, he had at least seemed to grasp most of what I told him the first time around, so I suppose he's not a complete idiot. It's rare to see you so judgmental. Is it really worth getting worked up over someone like that? I couldn't care less about him. I'm just worried he'll screw up somehow. What she was really worried about was having to clean up the mess if and when it happened. That had to be it, right? If not, it would mean she had no real idea why she could not get him out of his head. I think that means her. I think it's supposed to be her. Not get him out of her head.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Weird. Okay.
This game needs help.
You know, there was a patch to this, so maybe I should get that.
You know what? Maybe. Probably like a little patch, you know? Just a little patch. Just to, you know, fix it up a little.
Just a bit.
It's like putting a bow on a present, you know? You don't need to do it, but it looks better if you do.
Yes.
Well, he was a weirdo, all right. You two would probably hit it off great. Another world in the mountains doesn't sound so bad. But from her eyes, it was clear that the question on whether they would get along was irrelevant, given that they would never meet in the first place, unless you invited him over to your house because you become besties. Alco gave a non-committal response. Anyway, what have you been reading? A book about spiritual evolution based on the spiritual diary. Swedenborg? Swedenborg, huh? Is that really worth reading again? I wouldn't bother if it were the original, but this is a knockoff. It exaggerates the pros and cons of Swedenborg's style and reads like a well-written adventure, having the secret organization Kant. Sorry. For it to be called Kant is funny. Standing in his way was a nice addition.
The Spiritual Diary of Emanuel Swedenborg. That's real, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I imagine it is.
That's fair.
What is it?
Let's see here.
Yes, read to us, dear.
Tell
us about this Swedenborg.
Or a brief record during 20 years of a supernatural experience. This work has been selected by scholars as being culturally important and is part of the knowledge base of civilization as we know it. The work was reproduced from the original artifact and remains as true to the original work as possible. Therefore, you will see the original copy references, library stamps, and other notations of the work. This work is in the public domain. Yeah, okay, but like, what is it about? Come on.
Nobody knows.
Unless you actually read it, I guess.
I guess.
Come on. Give me a synopsis.
Cliff Notes, where are you?
Is there a Wikipedia article? Okay, The Spiritual Diary of Emanuel Swedenborg is a five-volume work containing the private account of Emanuel Swedenborg's spiritual experiences in heaven and hell, which he experienced in full waking visions over a 27-year period. Huh.
I guess that's something that, you know, witches and wizards would probably be intrigued by.
That's fair. Considering that heaven and hell are probably referring to the root.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. Anyways.
The handwriting on the notes in the margin belonged to your grandfather, by the way. Huh? I had no idea he was into that sort of thing. He had a great sense of humor. I really miss him. Alko seemed nostalgic over her now deceased grandfather. He just contacted you this last summer, didn't he? Do we really have to go there? Oh, why can't dead stay dead? People die when they are killed, aren't they? Alko sighed and laid back on the sofa. The sofa cushions caved in under her weight. As I was saying, Alice shot a glance at Alko. Her body, buried in the sofa, remained as still as a corpse. It was clear Alko had turned out of the conversation. Alice silently chastised her with a look. The more she thought about it, the less important the events of the day seemed to become. If she just ignored Alice, the conversation would end there. They would eventually get up and leave today's mistake unresolved for another day. However, that's not the kind of person Alko Awazaki was. Yeah? What is it? She asked, still lying down. It's upsetting that you failed today. Like I said, I'm thinking about it. I need to focus on becoming a full-fledged mage before thinking about school. I know that. I hope you do. The coldness in her voice made Alko gnash her teeth. She knew what Alice wanted to say. She knew better than anyone. The veneer she wore for school was different than the way she lived at home. While it could be called hiding in plain sight, Alice thought it was silly. And what the silence told her was, make up your mind already. I know. Today's failure was not a colossal one. She just happened to upset the delicate balance between her home and school lives, chasing one at the expense of the other. And yet, that careless mistake was a clear sign of Alko's lack of commitment. This doesn't concern Alice. It's my decision to make. She had only known for sure for the first year and a half. But she had a hunch for as long as she could remember. Make the choice, and the day will come. It was little wonder that her morals and conscience had been stripped away. Alko pushed herself back. She was met by Alice's cold beauty and wordless gaze. Okay, Alice. We can do it next week. That work for you? As long as it works for you. Naoko could not help but shake her head, feeling that she was hearing something similar to the second time that day. Even in the comfort of her own home, she couldn't banish thoughts of that country boy from her mind.
Hey, y'all.
I'll let you set it up then. That's still beyond my abilities. Should we do it at the park? Sure. The line there is suitable enough, but what about the other things? Isn't that more urgent concern? It depends on the conditions. I'll let you know if there's any changes to the woods. After that brief exchange, Alice returned her attention to the book in her lap. Shop talk was over. Now they could return to their normal relationship as roommates.
And they were roommates.
Alco grabbed the remote and turned on the TV. Since Alice was busy reading, Alco decided to tune into a variety show that had already started. Alice started to speak, but suddenly cut herself off. One of her delicate hands raised to her mouth.
And don't judge Alco. She just likes Scooby-Doo, alright?
I don't think that would be considered a variety show. I was thinking more Wheel of Fortune, or maybe like, what's that one where they ask you a question and you have to get like the top
Scooby-Doo
five?
would absolutely not be considered a variety show. I just kind of like decided on a random TV show that I think would have existed in the 80s.
No, that's fair.
I mean, absolutely, Scooby-Doo would have existed in the 80s, but, you know, still.
What's that one show where you have to guess like the top 5 answers?
Family Feud?
Yeah! I think that was back in the 80s.
Yes.
So she's just watching that.
Just watching Family Feud.
She's watching Family Feud. I think one of my favorite things is like name a 4-lettered fruit. I think it was a 4-lettered fruit. And this woman just goes orange.
Lime.
Lime. And I think there were a couple more, but she just said orange, and I thought it was the funniest thing. Or it was like a 3-lettered animal, and this woman said alligator, because I think she heard 3 syllables.
Oh. Name a boy's name that starts with the letter H. Jose.
Oh my god. One of the other ones is, what would you not want to see entering a house or entering a room? And this guy
Naked
hits
grandma.
the button and goes, naked grandma! Naked what? It's like, I wouldn't want to see that either. My other favorite one is, out of the 7 dwarves, which one represents your wife the best? And both of these men just stare at each other. They do not hit the button. They're just looking at each other like, nope.
It's
We're
like,
not
are you
hitting
gonna
this
do
button.
it? No, I'm not gonna do it.
I'm not hitting that button. I like living. Which I feel like the quote-unquote safest one, which if you are not safe enough in your relationship to be able to like bust each other's balls like that, I feel like you're not doing well.
That's fair.
But I feel like the best one would be sleepy.
True.
That's
Me.
like the safest one, because that's me. If I were someone's wife, that would just be me. Cause that or Doc, because I like helping people, and if you like get cut, I'm immediately just like, I have all of the band-aids just in my purse. I have
Name a
Hello Kitty.
red berry. Blueberry. Ooh.
Oh my god. I literally have Hello Kitty band-aids in my purse, and then I also have band-aids in my car. I am Doc.
Prepared.
God, I love Family Feud. Anyways, that's what they're watching, canonically. It occurred to Alco that the sound her cute little roommate made just now was different than the wah she blurted in times past. What? What is it? Alco turned down the volume of the TV. Her intense eyes lit up like those of a mischievous cat. It's nothing, really, but... But what? Alice looked away bashfully, not knowing if she should bring it up or not. It was times like this that her expression carried a real warmth and surprising charm. If he could see her in this moment, Alice's father would have to admit that her name suited her perfectly. What?
Oh?
It's just that I saw something strange on my way home and wanted to tell someone about it. Alco nodded, beckoning her to continue. It's silly, really.
What, saw somebody in a red dress?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But I just can't make sense of it, no matter how much I think about it. Alco, do you have any idea why a man-sized cat would be riding around town, delivering meals to— oh my god.
Oh my lord.
It's Sojiro.
Oh my god.
In a cat outfit. No, our little golden retriever boy.
Oh my god.
Delivering meals to people? For a second, Alco thought Alice was trying and failing miserably to make a joke again. One would think that about anyone, really. But she seemed completely serious. Even if Alice's sense of humor fell flat for Alco, the story already sounded more fanciful than Alice's usual attempt at jokes. Alco concluded that her roommate was talking about something she had actually seen. There are a few things off about that. Maybe we should break it down. Let's not. Even I can think of a few mundane explanations. I'm just asking because I can't figure out why someone would do that. Maybe it's as simple as someone just dressing up in a finely crafted catsuit to deliver food for a restaurant. I'm more worried about the person doing it than their reasons personally. Alice nodded tentatively at her words. But whatever does it for them, I guess. In a world with people like us and weirdos that live like mountain hermits, there's no telling what kinds of freaks are out there. I personally would have just gone up to them and asked them what they were doing. Alice's gaze drifted at that. A delivery cat riding through neighborhoods in the evening. Sounds like something straight out of a fantasy story. Hey, what should we do for dinner tonight? Speaking of delivery, maybe we should order in.
No one out Pizza's the Hut, am I right?
Oh my god. Do you know why it's called Pizza Hut?
Why so?
Pizza Hut is named Pizza Hut because there was a sale on signs, and Pizza Hut was just enough letters so that they could keep it within the discount because they had just enough money for it.
Nice.
I think it was supposed to be Pizza Hutter originally.
Oh.
I think. Don't quote me on that. But it was perfect. It would fit perfectly within the discount of letters that they could use, of spaces really, because technically the space between pizza and hut would count as a letter, quote unquote.
Nice.
But it was just enough. It fit. They got the discount, and then that became Pizza Hut. Fun fact of the day with B. Alco loved getting takeout, and her face glowed as she spoke. Oh, so that was Alco talking. Oops.
Oops.
They don't sound different enough, you know?
That's fair.
When they're talking, they don't really sound that different. To me, at least.
Yeah, yeah. I can kind of tell, but...
Yeah, but I have to be, like, really paying attention.
Yes.
They had no hard rules for dinner, but if one of them was in the mood to cook, they made it a point to make enough for two. At the very worst, this meant entire weeks without dinner, but the two of them agreed that this was the system that worked best for them. Whether they found cooking to be too much effort or simply liked ordering out. Nights like this one were a common occurrence, much to the charging of the restaurants of Misaki Town. Is Sojiro going to fucking show up to their house?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Delivering to the mansion meant coming all the way up to the top of the hill, the sources of their disgruntlement. It's still before 8, so we're good. Or no, wait. I think this is Alco. It's still before 8, so we're good. I'm really in the mood for kongetsu tonight. I haven't had their tsukimi?
Tsukimi, I think.
Their tsukimi soba in ages. The Hungry Student Council president took out the many menus and excitedly looked for anything that stood out. Alice casually responded without sparing so much as a glance. Sorry, but I've already had dinner. With those words, Alco froze.
No. No. I can't order out. Damn.
I have to cook for myself. All deliveries required a minimum of 2 items, so she was out of luck without any accomplice.
Oh my god.
Cruel society had decided it couldn't be bothered to deliver to a princess who only ordered a single serving of food. That is a thing, though. I don't know if you've ever noticed or if you've ever done it. A lot of places, they're like, oh, you have to spend at least like $20.
Yeah.
Or else it doesn't. I'm like,
It sucks. Oh well.
It sucks so bad. Especially if like I want, because like the place I work at, before I worked there, if I only wanted like chicken and french fries, I would have to get other things.
Right.
Just to get it delivered to my house because I didn't want to drive there. I guess it pays for their gas, which is fine, but it also makes me sad.
Yeah.
Incidentally, to counteract orders from the Hilltop Mansion, the restaurants had declared the minimum number of orders will be 3, starting next year. Alco and Alice were still in the dark to this fiendish change in direction. Traitor! Is that why you were late getting back? Between the bus ride and the walk, the trip home takes only 20 minutes. I should have known something was up when you didn't come home before 5 o'clock. Unfortunately for Alco, she had been too out of it to even remember that she was the one who'd fallen asleep.
Just...
Talk about Ice Queen. I thought it was clear that if either of us got food, we would bring enough home for the other person. Did I bring back something for you when I ate out last time? It was unknown how serious Aoko was being, but she was visibly angry. She had already woken up hungry that morning, and from the time she had called into school until now, she had consumed nothing but tea. It was a small miracle that her stomach was not growling. She knew it was her own fault, but she persisted, wanting to get revenge on Alice for scolding her earlier. By last time, you mean the time you went into the city and ate sushi but only came back with a plastic bag full of convenience store food? That time?
Convenience store food.
7-Eleven food?
Thank you for your patronage. Have a nice night.
Yeah. Cool. Oh,
Be sure to try our Takis and fucking
big gulps.
and the double gulp cup filled with raspberry slurpee next time.
Oh my god. As soon as they're done with their fight is when I'll have to go to bed, because I have to be at work in 10 hours.
That's fair.
I'm ready. Ready for murder?
Aw, yeah.
Aoko had kicked the hornet's nest. So what? It was better than nothing, wasn't it? There are times when you'd be better off saying nothing at all. Alice's icy gaze pierced right through her. Aoko had certainly crossed a line by going on and on about how the sushi circled around the restaurant while Alice ate her convenience store meal. But new things fascinated her, and she couldn't contain her curiosity towards the conveyor belt sushi shops that started popping up at the time. There was nothing short of miraculous. Even honesty came to be a sin, given the right circumstances. Fine, I get it. Does this at least mean that we're even now? Alice went back to her book without so much as recognizing the question.
Damn.
The fact that she did not confirm it made Aoko anxious. Well, today's been a total disaster. I guess I'll just whip up something in the kitchen. She stood up, announcing her intent to no one in particular. Oh, I almost forgot to ask, where did you end up eating anyway? Alice's hand froze on her current page. She suddenly shut the book she was reading and stood up, as if at her wit's end. She walked across the drawing room with her book in hand. When she reached the door, she stopped and turned towards Aoko. You really want to know? Sure. Aoko nodded timidly, cowed by Alice's sudden vigor. Alice continued in her matter-of-fact way. The cat gave me one of his leftover deliveries. And with that brief response, she left the room. And that's where we'll stop.
All right.
Save! Oh, perfect! A saving! Oh, everyone's stretched. Everyone say goodbye.
All right. Later, gamers.
We're gonna go buzz off now. Whee!